Hey, this is Zachlog the Great. You've been lied to about sex your entire life. As I've said before, I don't talk about myself here too much. Honestly, I don't think I'm that interesting, although I hope my ideas are. But occasionally my personal life becomes relevant to the things I want to talk about here, and this is one of those times. I grew up in a Christian home. I was in church all the time as a kid. I also spent about half of those years in public school. And, of course, I grew up with TV and movies and American pop culture. I've heard quite a bit from the church and the world. And one subject both talked about quite a bit was sex. But these two groups said wildly different things on the subject of sex. What does the world tell us about sex? What lessons would you get about sex from pop culture and the public schools? Sex is fun. You should have sex as often as you can in any form you can with whomever is willing. The only things you have to worry about are disease and unwanted pregnancies. And we have medical solutions to deal with both of those. What does the church teach about sex? Sex is a powerful force that must be handled very carefully. Its best form is as part of a lifelong, committed, monogamous relationship. Sex creates powerful bonds between a couple, but this bonding mechanism can be damaged by multiple partners. Sex is not bad. After all, sexual union is part of the image God gives us of Christ's relationship to the church. The church is the bride of Christ. Sexual union is definitionally a part of marriage. But, as with anything powerful, mishandled, it can become horribly destructive. I've been married 10 years now, and I've kept my ears open. From both personal experience and from listening and watching the world. I've learned something. The Christians were telling the truth about sex all along. And if you only listened to the schools and pop culture, you'd be missing some very important truths on the subject. I don't follow these all the time. It'd simply be too depressing. But occasionally, I read some reporters who follow simple crime stories. One thing I've learned is that people can easily wreck their own lives and do horrifying things when sex is involved. Do I really even need to name a list of celebrities and politicians whose sexual misdeeds have derailed their careers? As for the other aspect, I don't have the stomach to describe those cases. And both from personal experience and from listening to people who've studied the biology and psychology, I've learned something else. Sex creates and maintains powerful emotional bonds between a man and a woman. That union joins us together, and the powerful emotions the act fosters are part of the reason people do such stupid and dangerous things when they behave foolishly with sex. And all of this is perfectly understandable, even expected, to someone who grew up with a Christian understanding of sexuality. And all of it is a set of lethal booby traps in a dimly lit corridor for someone who only heard what the world teaches about sex. Are Christians perfect? By no means. Do we fail at our own standards? Absolutely. But our failure does not invalidate the standard. In fact, looking at the wreckage caused by those failures is just further proof of that standard. You've been lied to about sex your entire life. You may have been badly hurt by believing those lies. But the truth can set you free. God be with you.